So today is 9 months since the accident, and yeah, Mum suggested that I do a little survey of the legs and show what I can feel and can't feel, and maybe I'll talk about the other problems, bladder, bowel, and sexual function as well. But yeah, let's get to it. I've actually got a little bit of movement back, sort of around my hips, in the last couple of months, so that's something to work on. One of the things is building up muscles because they've been dormant for a long time, and yeah, one of the problems is my bony bum. It's very hard to repair any skin damage there. I've just been on the bed for a week, literally, with this tiny little thing that I've had for over 2 months. Anyway, here we go. So, feeling the right thigh. I don't feel much, and I don't have hot, cold, and pain. If I pinch, I don't feel it on this part of the leg. Underneath, not much. And basically, my bum and groin, I don't really feel anything. But I feel something here, sort of a bit tingly when I touch it. But yeah, definitely got some feeling on the lower leg there. And feet, I don't feel any of this. Used to love massaging my feet. Now I just have to massage my girlfriend's feet. Yeah, so I'm not even sure if I feel that or not. I think I feel something there, yeah. So having a bit around the ankle is good because the rotation of the foot gets picked up as the skin moves, and yeah. I sort of know something's going on, I just have to look to see what it is. So this leg, I've got pretty much normal feelings, some parts inside the leg, like there's pretty normal, there's pretty normal, there's pretty normal, not much there, sort of a little bit there. Yeah, that's definitely something there. I do have hot and cold and pain in this leg too. Something there, touching the outside of my knee. Something there. It's actually pretty reasonable, the touch on this leg. And basically, this is the point here. There it is, where I can feel quite well. So any movement over there, it's my foot's moving, but basically nothing on my feet. I often get these kind of jolting sort of sensations when I'm going over bumps in the wheelchair or in a car or something, and often just neuropathic pain like comes and goes. And if I touch my skin around here, which is totally fine, normally I can feel that fine, it's above the brake, I get sort of weird sort of electric kind of feelings in my legs. So I remember early on when I was drying myself, or someone was drying me with a towel, it was really uncomfortable because you get all that, but I guess you sort of get used to it. But yeah, so yeah, you definitely feel something there, but yeah, no skin sensation there. So basically what I've been able to get back in the last few months is being able to pull my legs together. So if I was in a swimming pool, I could do that, but that's pretty reasonable because it all depends on what situation it is, like how close to the balance point is. But you can see I've got pretty good movement there, and I'm doing both at the same time, so I'm not sort of twisting my hips or anything. Yeah. And same for moving the knees towards my chest. Let's try that. So, it's probably not going to work because it's in the way, but I'm just trying to. Yeah, so that's actually pretty reasonable. I think my left leg's a strong one. I can try the right one in this position. Yeah, it just doesn't move, but I'll rotate around the other way. Oh. And try to move the right one. So it's kind of pushing against my knee, but there is some movement there. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the left one. Yeah, so that's a knee to chest sort of movement. And the other thing, which I guess I have to take my pants off to show it, I won't do that, but is the bum, like clenching the buttocks. That's the latest thing that I've noticed, that I've got something back. Like my sister's a physio. I sort of noticed that something was going on. She was the first one I told about it. And she was keen to check it out, and she said that she's pretty sure that there is some activation there, because I thought it might have been something else activating, because I co-contract my lower back when I try to squeeze my buttocks. So I know something's moving, and I don't know if whatever's the sensation of something moving here with your hand that you can feel, if it's something else pulling something else or whatever. But she reckons there's something going on, and that's really promising, because if I get my bum back, I'll have a bit more padding to sit on. And of course there's the actual function where your legs are supposed to do things, but yeah, like muscle mass I've lost. I'm about 72, 73 kilos now, and I was 85, 86 or so before the accident, but that hasn't changed much. I think I lost it in the first few months. So yeah, I was wondering about getting the machine to just stimulate the muscles, because the spinal cord is disconnected now. Just for the reason that you can keep the muscle tone. So, like for example, I was told that my fancy way of lying on my stomach was lying on your stomach's okay, flat on the bed, but then you got your face into the pillow. So I used to rotate my upper body to the side, but apparently that means I can dislocate my hip. The spinal doctor said. So I'm like, what? But yeah, basically when I had knee surgery, they told me there's three things. There's the bones, the structure of the joint, which stabilizes it. So the bones, the ligaments, and then the muscles is the other thing. And my muscles are just getting weaker. And if I'm always stretching that in that position where the leg's a bit sort of stretched, the muscles are going to get longer and longer, as opposed to moving my legs up, which I don't do enough, so I don't have full flexibility there. Which is not too bad. But yeah, that's basically hanging with gravity. I can push it a little bit more, but yeah. Calves are no problem, because in the wheelchair my legs are really tucked. Quads I can do by putting my bum on the edge of the wheelchair and leaving my feet on the foot thing. But yeah, having muscle tone so your joints just don't jump out and disconnect themselves is probably a good idea. But of course, being able to do things is going to be handy as well. Yeah, I'm just going to go into detail about some of those things and how I've been dealing with it and the issues that I've had. So probably it's not for everyone, this video, but yeah, I just thought it might help some people. Some people might be interested about it. I don't actually mind talking about it. Like for me, it's like, yeah, when I first did the catheter thing, I'd been hanging around nurses so much, and they're just used to, dealing with all these kind of things. Yeah, it's more that a lot of people are uncomfortable talking about this kind of thing, and you don't want to bring it up and talk about it, and if it makes them uncomfortable. And so you have the chance to stop watching this YouTube video now if you want. But yeah, okay, let's start with the bladder. So yeah, I talked about this to Chris, the guy I went gliding with, and said, yeah, I've got a catheter, so I have to, yeah, get the urine out. And with the spinal injury, I don't have any feeling of when the bladder is full, and I don't have any control over, like what happens when you pee is you kind of squeeze the bladder, and you also open the valves or whatever they are to let the urine out. And yeah, I can't do that, so I don't have the sensation and I don't have the control. And yeah, when I was saying to this guy that I've got a catheter, he's like, oh yeah, I do that as well, but it's a little bit different for me because I'm saying to someone else it's like an actual medical procedure when I go and pee. I've got to get a long piece of plastic, and yeah, the initial ones that I got were just plastic that's not lubricated. You can buy all these different types, but I had the cheap ones because of my funding, and probably they're the ones I'm going to keep using because they're the simplest. And yeah, what you do is you dip it in some lube and then you insert it into the penis. It's apparently a little bit easier for guys to find the hole, and you just keep going until you get to the bladder. And I can't feel it, so it does. Yeah, it's probably not something you'd think is very pleasant, but I can't feel it, so I guess it's just a mental thing, which wasn't really hard for me to get over. I've been through a lot at that stage. And yeah, when I get to the bladder, I can just sort of feel or hear the urine start rushing up the tube, so I stick my thumb on the top, and then I make sure usually I just use a plastic bottle is ready, and I put it in there, and then I take my thumb away and just wait till it fills up. And it takes quite a while because there's not a lot of pressure. If I breathe in a lot, more comes out, like the rate comes out a bit, and yeah, it's not that exciting. So I've got heaps more to say about the bladder stuff, but I'll leave that for another time. And yeah, I'm a little bit careful about saying too much to the nurses. But yeah, this is a great little invention. It's just a adjustable raised toilet seat thing that you can put on pretty much any toilet. And yeah, it just makes the job so much easier. And I've also started using it to shower with, so I just put it on the floor and then I can transfer onto it, and it means I can wash myself on it as well. I did have a camp chair, cut a little hole in it so the water drained it. Now it lowered me all the way to the floor, not dropping me luckily, but yeah, this way I'm already down on the floor, so I can't fall far anyway. And yeah, I can transfer up from there. Alright, I just got to make sure I don't put the seat too close to the wall, because then I'll try and put my head through the wall when I transfer back up again. And yeah, for the sexual function stuff, I'll probably leave that for another video, but there's not a lot happening down there. So yeah, all these things would be good to get something more back, but yeah, life goes on. We can sort of make do with things as the way they are. Yeah, the transfer is pretty smooth. They were really worried about me demonstrating that in the hospital. They were panicking, no, don't do that. Don't get on the floor. But yeah, it goes alright. And yeah, I don't get out of the wheelchair and lie on my belly enough. Yeah, it's fine if there's a bed, but onto the grass it's another thing. But it's good to know that you can do it.